Before there was time, before there was light, before there was a beginning anyone could measure, there was God. Nothing else existed. No sky, no earth, no sound, no movement. Only God, complete and powerful, speaking into the silence that held nothing at all. Then God spoke. His voice did not argue with darkness or wrestle with emptiness. He simply spoke, and his words carried life inside them. "Let there be light," God said, and light burst into existence where darkness had ruled. It did not struggle to appear, it obeyed. Day separated itself from night, and for the first time, creation responded to the sound of God's voice. God spoke again, and the sky stretched wide, lifting itself between the waters. Space formed where there had been none. The heavens rose, vast and ordered, held in place not by force, but by a word spoken with authority. Everything knew its place because God had spoken. When God spoke, the waters gathered, pulling back to reveal dry land. Earth rose from beneath the seas, firm and ready. At his command, the ground responded with life. Grass pushed through the soil, trees reached upward, and plants produced seeds within themselves. Nothing was random. Every living thing carried purpose, created by a voice that knew exactly what it was doing. God spoke, and lights filled the sky. The sun appeared to govern the day, the moon to rule the night, and stars scattered across the heavens like signs of promise. Time itself began to move by the rhythm God established. Days and seasons followed his word, steady and faithful. Again, God spoke, and life filled the waters and the skies. Fish swam through the seas, birds soared through the air, each according to its kind. The world was no longer silent. It echoed with movement, color, and breath, all born from God's voice. When God spoke once more, animals walked the earth. Creatures small and great appeared, each formed by intention, each sustained by the word that called it into being. The earth was full, alive, and good. Then God spoke in a deeper way. He said he would make humanity in his own image. From the dust of the ground, he formed man. And into him, God breathed the breath of life. A body became a living soul. Humanity did not begin with noise or power, but with God's breath and God's voice. God spoke blessing over what he had made. He saw everything, and it was very good. The universe did not begin with chaos finding order on its own. It began with a voice. When God spoke, nothing turned into something, emptiness became purpose, and life began to unfold. Everything that exists started with God speaking, and even now, creation still stands as a reminder that when God speaks, beginnings happen. When God spoke, his words didn't just create things, they released power. Every sentence carried authority, and the universe leaned in to listen. This was not noise-filling silence. This was command-shaping destiny. One voice set everything in motion, and nothing dared resist it. When God spoke light into existence, he proved that darkness has no defense against his word. Darkness didn't fade slowly, it vanished instantly. One sentence from God was stronger than endless emptiness. That same voice still breaks darkness today, no matter how deep it feels. When God spoke and the sky stretched out, he showed that limits are not permanent when he is involved. What once felt closed opened wide. What once felt impossible made room. God's voice creates space for things to breathe, grow, and exist, where there was once pressure and restriction. When God spoke to the waters and land appeared, he revealed that stability comes from his word. The ground beneath creation wasn't secured by strength or science, but by obedience. Everything stands because God said it should. If he can command oceans to move, he can command situations to shift. When God spoke life into the earth, growth followed his instruction. Trees didn't guess how to grow. Seeds didn't struggle to understand their purpose. They responded to the word that formed them. When God speaks, clarity replaces confusion, and purpose follows immediately. When God spoke and placed the sun, moon, and stars, he introduced order into existence. Time began to obey his rhythm. Seasons learned when to arrive and when to leave. Nothing rushed ahead or fell behind. God's word set the pace, reminding us that timing is not accidental when he is in control. When God spoke life into the seas and skies, movement filled the world. The silent earth became alive with sound and motion. Creation didn't need permission to thrive once God had spoken. His word carried freedom to multiply, to expand, and to fill every space assigned. When God spoke and created humanity, the moment became personal. God didn't just speak from a distance. He formed, He breathed, He connected. Humanity began with intimacy, not independence. Life entered the body because God leaned close enough to breathe it in. When God spoke blessing over everything He made, He confirmed that creation was not a mistake. It was intentional, good, and complete. God did not speak regret. He spoke approval. The universe began knowing it was loved. This is why God's voice still matters. The world began with Him speaking, and life still changes when He does. The same voice that created light can revive hope. The same word that formed the earth can rebuild broken lives. When God speaks, beginnings happen, direction is given, and nothing remains the same. Everything started when God spoke, and everything still responds when He does. The story shows that everything began when God spoke. His words carried power, authority, and purpose, turning nothing into something and darkness into light. Creation did not happen by chance, but by divine command, with each part of the world responding instantly to God's voice. From light and land to living creatures and humanity, all life came into existence through His word. The summary reminds us that God's voice still has the power to bring order, clarity, hope, and new beginnings, just as it did at the very start. In the end, the story reminds us that God's voice is the beginning of everything that truly matters. What was empty found meaning, what was dark found light, and what was lifeless began to breathe because God spoke. Creation stands as proof that His word never returns powerless. The same voice that shaped the universe still speaks into lives today, calling forth hope, purpose, and new beginnings. When God speaks, change is inevitable, and nothing remains the same.